How's it going, folks? Today we are back at it with the 2023 gecko pairing season. Now, last episode we did all of our toke geckos, or at least the first round of it that we can with the males that we have. Now this time we are working on our New Caledonian stuff. What that entails is we are going to be pairing our Crested geckos, our Gargoyle geckos, and our Chihua geckos. There's a lot of things that I'm going to mix up and do a little bit differently than I have been in the past, trying to take this project and its breeding style into the next level, seeing how that helps with our egg production, the overall health of the animals, and the ability for them to breed at a longer period of time. With all that out of the way, let's get started with the first group of geckos we are going to be pairing, and that is going to be my Gargoyle geckos. First up on the list of this trio of Gargoyle geckos we are going to be doing is going to be this red-based, red-striped Gargoyle gal. An absolutely amazing girl I've been growing out for the past 2 seasons, and now she is finally old enough to be able to pair. I'm very excited for her. This is an absolutely beautiful Gargoyle, and that is going to bring us to the first thing I was talking about, bringing us this to the next level, is the fact that I am going to start doing group pairings when it comes to my gecko projects. For the longest time, I have done single pairings, just a 1.1 group and going down the line. However, as I've expanded my females, my males have kind of stepped the same. For Cresteds, we have 2 available males, and right now for Gargoyles, excluding our holdbacks and growouts, we only have 1 available male. And now when we're doing stuff by... When we're doing projects like this where one gecko is going to stay with the female, then we're going to wait some time and then we get fertile eggs, and then that animal's going to move to... Then that male is going to move to the next female's enclosure. We're missing out at almost a month or 2 of egg cycle going on. Whether if we keep them into a trio, we are going to have a little bit more success and a little bit more eggs being laid in the process. Obviously, when it comes to my Gargoyles, they are not the handleable most of the things, so we're gonna leave her alone and we're gonna get the others and put them in this breeder bin right below me. Next up, we have this absolutely gorgeous yellow-based, yellow-striped girl. A very large female who I unfortunately have not yet to be able to produce eggs for. We had this girl last season, we did pair her. Unfortunately, she just did not want to lay us any eggs. It's a little late in the season, that's why we're gonna be doing it a little bit earlier and see if that helps out. Finally, a gecko that is fired up that I'm able to show off. Just look at the coloration on this girl. Absolutely fantastic. A golden gecko, if you will. A beautiful animal. Now, you guys are probably thinking to yourself, and that's going to be, Dakota, why would you pair this girl along with this girl? What's that male going to look like? And there's a reason why these two are such contrasted in being with the same male. That has everything to do with this male right here. Now, unfortunately, in shed right now, this guy is going to be what I believe they call bacon in the Gargoyle world. I'm not up to date with all the Gargoyle morphs. This is going to be a nice brown stripe, very high cream male that has a little bit of orange down the middle of the dorsal. Now, you guys might be looking at this male and thinking, Dakota, what are you doing? And this just stems from the fact that all of our growouts are just a little too young to pair this season, yet we do have this readily available male. This male has sired stuff in the past, and they've actually come out nice red and orange. We have a couple of growouts in those little 28 quarts right there. So while this guy might not look like he does the job with this creams and this browns, I think will pair very good with the yellow striped, and the fact that he does produce some nice oranges, I think that'll go well with our red-based red striped girl, at least for this season, until the males that we have growing out in there are old enough to breed with these girls next year. Some other things I'm going to be doing with really switching up this year is going to be these 3 main things. Number 1, I am going to be adding a calcium cup for all of my Crested and Gargoyle geckos, all my New Caledonian geckos. I've been doing a lot of research, listening to a lot of podcasts with a lot of the upper breeders that are larger than myself, and I've been doing this for a little bit longer, and I've noticed that using a calcium cup is actually beneficial to the animal. They'll actually lap it up on themselves to restore their calcium sacs, and you'll have a lot less issues of calcium crashing with utilizing something like this. Next thing I'm going to be adding is a water reservoir. This is the first time I've ever even attempted anything like this. This is going into our no misting ideology and how people are doing with their breeding projects. As you guys can see, this is just like holdbacks and growouts, not even into breeding season, and there are a lot of tubs to mist, not including all the other animals I own over here. Adding something like a water reservoir in each enclosure, making sure the humidity stays consistent and they're able to lap water without having to mist each individual bin would be absolutely fantastic, save me a bunch of time, and overall will be a little bit better for the animal. If there are days where I just don't feel like misting, no need, because I got the water bowl in there that is going to keep that humidity consistent and make sure they have hydration available at all times. Last things we are going to need is obviously a lay box. We got the lay box already chilling in there. We are going to be adding another little food dish area for them, so they'll have 2 different stations in case some of the females aren't too kosher for each other. They have separate areas to feed. If I notice any fighting, any injuries, anything like that, we always have the tubs that they're originally in to fall back on. But I'm interested to see this group. I'm interested to see if my egg production goes up a little bit, if they're able to be a little bit more fertile faster, and just all in all how it's gonna work. Finish up this tub we have right now with these girls and move on to some other projects we need to work on. Now, an important thing to note before you enter this little water bowl phase, or whatever you want to call it, is the fact that you never want to fill it up too much. You don't want to make it an area where potentially one of your geckos can drown. You just want it large enough to where it's going to have a constant humidity cycle going when it evaporates, but also low enough to where the animal can't fully submerge itself all the way in, having some sort of unknown case where it might be able to drown. We don't want that. We just want enough water to raise the humidity inside its enclosure, and that's really it. On the list, we've got Tiger Super Dals. Come on, almost. Oh, there you are. Next, we have our Tiger Super Dalmatians. Now, we all know Pebbles the Chungus, an absolutely unit of a gecko that just refuses to drop weight. It works for me when breeding, but I would just wish that she would just stop being this gigantic, because Jesus Christ. Going with another girl, and of course Spice, our male breeder, who we'll pull out in a second. He's a little bit of a wild card, so I'm going to put him in last because I just got to close the bin and it's a job done. Next is going to be going with our girl Pebbles, an absolutely amazing super doll, one of our first generations DBCB Exotics geckos. This gecko was produced from Xena and Spots, one of our original pairings, alongside with Pebbles, so we've got two really nice Tiger Dalmatians. I wouldn't really classify Pebbles as a super doll, more like a tiger doll, but Phoenix, you just can't beat as many spots as this gecko has right here. Then the last kicker on this list is going to be Spice, our Tiger Super Doll Crested Gecko breeder. Now, while this guy lacks a little bit in spots, he has a beautiful tiger stripe pattern, some red and black spots, and seems to be doing a great job at producing Dalmatians. We've used this guy in 2 generations of our eggs right now, and he has plenty of some of those holdbacks I have in those baby bins. So this guy definitely does get the job done. While he doesn't look absolutely stunning, he definitely makes some stunning babies. Coming on down to our next pairing, we've got some different little geckos, and these of course are going to be the Chihua, and really amazing species, one of my dream species of geckos that I've wanted to own for a very long time, and finally last season was able to afford. We've had these guys that did absolutely fantastic last season, only giving us, well, the multiple, we had the 3 clutches of eggs. However, due to a lone darkling beetle eating one of the clutches, we only were able to hatch out 4 of those eggs. So this is the reason why we're going to be doing a bin setup just for breeding. We're going to be getting those three clutches of eggs from them and then putting them back into their own enclosures after that. So let's see how well this does, making sure I triple check there ain't no beetles in there that are going to be eating those eggs. So let's shoot for 6 eggs out. Let's shoot for a lot of eggs. I'm putting her in here now, Jesus. And then following her is going to be this massive dude, this amazing male Chihua, absolutely beautiful green camouflage with just some hints in brown, which I believe really complements her a lot well, as she is mostly brown with some hints of green. The contrast is absolutely fantastic, and the babies they produced last season were amazing. We have 2 of them that we're growing out for future breeders in the future. However, these 2 will hopefully get us some more eggs so we can get some more Chihua and just are only able to pair 1 pairing for the entire year. Alrighty, boys and girls, we talked a little bit about the good stuff that's been going on, but now let's kind of switch gears over to some of the difficulties and obstacles we're facing here for the 2023 season. Of course, talking about the pattern crested geckos, we are first off going to be talking about this tricolor pin, an absolutely gorgeous girl. I'm very excited to start working with pattern mutations with crested geckos. Obviously, we've done Super Dalmatians for the past almost half a decade now, and it was really exciting to not only have this girl, but also this girl right here, this beautiful white wall pin geckos. Both of these would make whoa, little one, whoa, chill. These guys making absolutely fantastic female breeders to the male that we have, obviously that lily white. However, when it comes to the pairing, obviously we have these 2 girls, but we're missing one major thing, and that is a problem with the male. We got the lily white male literally months back. I was very excited to have this guy in my collection. At that time, he was around 18 to 19 grams, and I figured, well, breeding season's not gonna start till months from now, so we'll be able to get him up to that breeder weight for a male in that amount of time. And unfortunately, with the acclimation of this process, he didn't acclimate very well to his new home. He didn't eat very much during this time. He was really getting settled in. And unfortunately, it led him to, from all of those months back to when we got him, to around a month ago. He went from the 18 to 19 grams to like 19 to 20 grams. It was, Very disappointing to see the fact that this gecko literally did not grow at all for the time that we had him, simply because of the fact that he just would not eat for me. Recently, that has completely changed. We've been getting him to acclimated into eating bugs. He absolutely loves his crickets, probably my most ferocious gecko when it comes to eating crickets. We have him now on a high-protein diet with all of my breeders setting up for the Crested gecko breeding season, so now we're gonna take him out and see how much he weighs. Here's my little fork in the road when it comes to this, boys and girls. Now, if this guy is not at least 22 grams and does not get to around that 30-gram point in the next month, maybe two, pretty much right before February, if I don't see him at that good breeder weight, we may end up having to substitute him with Almo, my very first Crested gecko. Now, this B-roll does show Almo doesn't look like that pretty of a gecko, but give him some credit. Almo's like 10 years old. Obviously, that saturation, the color is gonna fade out over time. Still an absolutely beautiful gecko, great head structure. Obviously, not the lily white that we really were excited for this season, so fingers crossed. I want to get this weigh in, see how much he weighs, and then hopefully in around 6 weeks we can get him up to that breeder weight and continue on with the lily white project of 2023. Easy, bud, easy, easy, Jesus. Calm. And all right, here we have the little one. I'm just gonna let him get a little tuckered out before we put him on the scale because I know he's just gonna jump. Absolutely gorgeous lily white. An absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous lily white male. As you can see, still just looks very small. I'm gonna go ahead and get a size on him, but I do not have high hopes, unfortunately. All right, so this doesn't look too bad. So it doesn't look too bad. Looks like he's at 23.8 grams, which is actually a lot better than I thought. So that means from around last month to now, he's gained around 3 to 4 grams, which is absolutely fantastic. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can keep power feeding him in order to make him wait in the season. We'll just have a little bit of a delayed season for our pattern animals, but man, just some fingers crossed, man. Not doing a lily white project in 2023 would really suck. Last but certainly not least, we have Spots, my OG male Super Dalmatian Crested Gecko. Now, unfortunately, during the 2022 season, Spots did go through a bit of a crash. You can see he lost a lot of weight. We've been able to maintain him, and he hasn't gotten any worse since then, but he hasn't also gotten any better. We've been trying a few different tactics, a few rounds of medication and calcium supplementation, trying to get him a little bit better, but unfortunately, he's just kind of been like this very small shrunken weight. We have him in a smaller enclosure now. We have him food. I'm gonna assist feeding him sometimes, some of the Repti Boost, and again, calcium supplementation, trying to get him back to good. We're gonna get a quick weight on him. He's really maintained around the 30-gram area, and for a gecko that is at least 4 to 5 years old, he should be a lot bigger than like 30 grams, you know? Yep, so again, after a quick wait, he is only at 30.3 grams, which is just a big bummer. An absolutely gorgeous Super Dalmatian. Does look a little bit better than he has in the past. He really got really thin there for a minute, so we'll just keep doing what we can to bump him back up. Obviously, this is gonna make a delay on our cookie project because Spots is our only non-tiger Dalmatian gecko, and I really just don't want to pair tiger to a chocolate. That just doesn't make any sense, even if it does have Super Dalmatian in it. So we'll be putting a hold on that. Maybe we give Cookie a break this season and so on, but really would be a big bummer if we lost this guy, so we're gonna do absolutely everything that we can to make sure that he gets back in track and still stays here at DBCB Exotics. And there you got it, boys and girls. We got some great news and we got some bad news. Currently, we have 5 females going for the 2023 year. Hopefully, as some stuff shakes out, maybe that lily white gains some more weight, maybe that Spots gets a little bit better, we can bump that up to 8. Have a couple of girls that took off the off season. They're only around 36 to 37 after this year, so I do want to give them a break off this season. We'll continue on with that. As far as grow outs go, next year we are gonna add this girl, and this girl, so that would be 3 more new Cal stuff. These guys actually might as well. These guys do need an upgrade enclosure. That would bring us to around 5 more girls for 2024, and then 2025, I mean, that's... Everything right here is the stuff that I held back for the year. So we've got 3 Chinese cave geckos, we've got 2 Chihua geckos, and then we have about 27 crested geckos, if I'm remembering correctly. So hopefully in 2025, we'll have somewhere around 20 to 30 breeder New Caledonian geckos, which would be absolutely fantastic. There you got it, boys and girls. Another day, another year of Dakota breeding geckos. Absolutely fantastic. Who would have thought saw that coming? As always, if you guys enjoy me as a creator and the content we make over here, consider joining the YouTube membership program thingy-majigger. Starts as low as $1 a month. You guys get bonus footage, some up-to-date stuff, behind-the-scenes stuff. It's all awesome. It's right down there. And if you don't want to join, maybe it's considering subscribing. It's free as well. Well, no, that one's... As always, guys, thank you so much for taking the time of your day to follow us over here at DBCB Exotics. I will see you next time, but until then, goodbye.